Hello everyone and welcome back. This is Tuplex. Thank you all for your patience. I am now back from vacation. I had a great time. I made some new friends. I'm a little sad today because now I miss my new friends, but we're all going to keep in touch and it should be cool. So it was nice to have a week doing something completely different and not thinking a whole lot about Factorio. It's good to have a break every once in a while and kind of get refreshed. So I'm eager to get back at it, and I hope you are too. I'm just refilling on my nanobots here. Now, while I was gone, I did take my laptop with me, and I played maybe 2 or 3 hours total during the whole week, just when I had a little bit of spare time. So I just did some minor things while I was out. So I want to kind of go over those for you now. What you're seeing right now is I am replacing bots in my main network here. So what I'm trying to do is get all the regular Bob's logistics bots out. So on a couple of these roboports, I have a filter inserter so that as soon as a bot goes in there, it'll get inserted into a chest so that it comes out of the network. So I've gathered up about 90 of them now. I'm not sure how many more there are. Well, here are a few. So hopefully they'll drop off. They'll go land in the roboport. And then they'll get pulled out right away. Because what I'm doing now is I am making the Angel Cargo Bot Mark IIs. And the reason I'm doing that is because I was checking these out and I realized that the Mark II bots travel at 15.1 kilometers per hour. You know, the normal Angel's bots are very slow. The Mark I cargo robot goes 17.6. So this is twice as fast. And when I look at the Mark I regular bot, it's 18.9 kilometers an hour. So this travels nearly as fast as a regular logistics bot, but they can carry full stacks of items. So it seemed like it would be a good idea to start replacing. So what I've been doing is, taking those bots out, and then I took all the Mark I bots that I had and loaded them into this chest. And so I'm just now slowly converting them over into the Mark II bots. And as I get a bunch made, I'll just release them out into the wilds. This one has construction bots, which is fine. And it might take a while before I can get all of the regular bots out of the network because, some of them might be hiding out in a roboport somewhere that I haven't seen, but I think most of the bots at some point are going to come over here, so hopefully they'll get captured from those 2 roboports. What do we have over here? Those are construction bots. That's fine. Okay, so that's one of the things that I did, and this will be ongoing for a little while until they all get made. I've started to bring plates to the main base. Okay, so I'm now bringing 2 belts of iron and then essentially half a red belt each of copper and steel. I did this just because I already had a belt that was taking stearite up into the main smelting area. So this way I could just replace that single belt and get pretty much like 2 yellow belts, or 1 yellow belt each of steel and copper. So these are going up there. So if we follow these all the way over, now I still need iron ore in the main base so that we can make what was it? Ferric nitride. Let me see over here. Ferric chloride. Okay, and that was for making, what was the ferric chloride for? Oh, that's for making the white circuit boards. That's what we need that for. So I've got I don't know. I have like this belt full of iron ore now. And I think I still have some in here. Yeah, I've got about 1,000 left. So eventually this will run out and I'll have to continue to bring in more iron ore to the base. No, I don't think... Maybe I do. I'm trying to remember if I have... Yeah, I do have iron ore available in the train network. So we can make that work. I'm running out, though. It's almost gone. Just because I haven't done any sorting in a while because all my stone is backed up. But anyway, that's what the plan is there. Okay, so then the the iron goes up to where this is where the stereotype sorting used to be. So I removed all that. So the iron belts just pass straight through and then join up with their main bus where they did before. I removed the steel smelting. Copper smelting is still going on here in the base because I have a ton of copper ore already made that hasn't been used yet. So the copper and steel belt then comes up here, and then I just use a couple filter inserters to move those onto their own belts. Eventually I'll put the copper on the belt too. Now I could have used the splitter with a filter on it, but the problem I've seen with doing that is that if one side of the belt is backed up, then the other side won't work at all. So that's why I'm using the inserters here to load the two yellow belts. There might be a simpler way to do it, using undergrounds or something like that, but this is how I'm doing it right now. So, yeah, and then I still have a bunch of slag in here as well, so I'm slowly moving the slag over to this warehouse. I think there's 25. Yeah, it looks like I'll have there'll be enough space to get all that slag into here, and then I can remove that belt as well. And then once I use up all the copper ore, then I'll run this line of copper over here. But then of course I'm going to have an issue with bronze because I won't have copper ore to make bronze. So then at that point I'll have to start bringing in bronze plate also. Now for the other stuff, I'm still making the other plates here on the main base. I used to have 2 chests full of silicon ore over here, and then those eventually got completely full, and then the bobmodium sorting stopped, and that caused me to run out of tin. So I'm making tin again. I replaced the 2 chests with a passive provider silo. So now the silicon ore is on the network. And I did that because I needed silicon ore down here. Yeah, I'm requesting silicon ore down here to put that out on the network because we needed silicon ore for... Was it over here? Yeah, we needed silicon ore over here to make the acid that we're making here. And the name of that acid now escapes me. Nitric? No. Well, anyway, it's some form of acid that's being produced over there that needed silicon ore, and we don't have any silicon ore over here right now because that's all been used up over here. I was using the silicon to make steel. But unfortunately, I wasn't making enough silicon to keep that going. So the other change that I've had to make was to change this back to the most basic steel recipe that only requires steel ingots since I ran out of silicon. So, I mean, once I get more silicon available, then I can change that recipe back to how it was before. But for now, I just changed it so that it's making the molten steel exclusively from steel ingots so that we can keep the steel production going. And we can see that zinc ingots have run dry. There's no more zinc coming in either. So a big priority is going to be to get this sorting operation going again. Let's see. Oh, I expanded the rail network. So as you can see here, I added 2 rungs to the south, and I added 2 rungs to the north. And I basically just separated these by 5 spans of the power poles. So we've got a junction here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th one has another junction, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th one has another junction. All right, so I added 2 more up there. I added 2 more down here. So now we have the rail network already expanded, so that when we're ready to add more production facilities, that's already set up. You know, and that's very easy to do. Obviously, it's just kind of time consuming. So I thought that this was a good opportunity for me to work on that. And then I put some more radars out there. I found that one Mark II radar at each end here will span the whole area. And so I have visibility over this entire thing. So here we'll probably set up some mines over here as well, and up here. So a lot of this area is going to be occupied by mining. Now down here, I did have to run through a crotinium patch, but I set up some miners to, not on the infinite part, but I set up some miners on the non-infinite portions to start strip mining this area. So they're just going into warehouses. Looks like one warehouse is full already. And then at some point in the future, I can just attach a train station to it so we can get access to that. But for now, I'm just working at getting it removed. All right, so there's that. I have a note here that says barrel bots vanilla. Oh, okay. I know what that was. I put vanilla, or the Bob's logistics bots, over here at the barrel area. That was based on a suggestion that I got in the comments. You know, someone said that those bots are so slow, and because the stack size for barrels is so small, it's not really a good idea to use it because they can only pick up 10 at a time. So the very slow speed of them doesn't make up for their ability to pick up a few extra barrels. You know, I think a regular bot now, can pick up 3 at a time. Maybe it's 2. I suppose we could check that here. Let me see what our bot cargo bonus is. Okay, cargo capacity is 2. So right now, a regular bot can pick up 2, and the Mark I bot can pick up 10. So it's not a big difference. And so I put vanilla bots over here. But now that I'm making the Mark IIs, I'm going to replace those with the Mark II cargo bots. So I'm going to grab 100 of those, and then we'll head over there. Let me bring my train here first, so we don't have to run around too much. Let's see, I'm just going through my notes here. Remove stereotype sorting. Okay, we covered that already. Steel smelting we covered already. The bobmonium sorting for tin I discussed. Okay, I think that pretty much covers everything. So let's go over to the barrel area and upgrade those bots. And then I'd like to start working on the nitric acid processing. Or, I'm sorry, the nitric wastewater processing. Eventually I know that I will need nitric acid, but I'm not ready to put that together yet. All right, so I'm just going to come over here. I'm going to grab the bots out of there and put those in. And that's all it takes, really. I'll check the other roboports to see if there are any more of those. Okay, there are no roboports up there. Just expanders. And down here too? Yeah, okay. So I guess that's all the bots. And that's a good example of how it can be beneficial to use the zone expanders and charging stations rather than just using full roboports everywhere. Because when you do that, then you know exactly where all the bots are going to go. So in this case, all the bots are going to come here every time because that's the only place that the bots can store themselves. Everything else is either a zone expander or a charging station only. So that makes it pretty convenient to do those things. Okay, so let's go to wastewater processing and set up the processing of nitric wastewater. Let's see what I have here. This was fluoric processing. Okay, so I think I can get rid of that. And because I've been gone for a week, I may end up forgetting where I was or why I was doing something. So I hope that you will bear with me as I work through those things. It'll come back to me before too long, I'm sure. Okay, yeah, so we have the nitric wastewater that we have not dealt with. So far, all of the fluoric wastewater has been consumed. So there's nothing going on down here yet. And there we're making hydrofluoric acid. That's what it is. Okay, so now we need to do something with the nitric wastewater. So let's take a look here. Waste. There we go. Okay, I need to right click it. So nitric wastewater has one recipe, and it looks like the only thing that we can do with it is convert it into mineralized water and pure water. That's it. Okay, so that should be fairly easy. Now I've got mineralized water. So I might want to consolidate the storage of these fluids and put those in barrels as well. What am I doing here? Yeah, here I'm making more mineralized water from crushed stone. And that's because I get crushed stone as a byproduct from this chemical plant. Okay, so I'm not actually dealing with massive quantities of crushed stone here. Yeah, so I think it'll be a good idea to start barreling purified water and mineralized water. Now, if I remember correctly, I thought I was barreling purified water somewhere else already, but I don't remember where that was or if I'm actually doing it. Maybe it was over here. Right. Oh no, that's saline water. I've got saline water in barrels there. Okay. All right, yeah, so this is good. So now I'll have a place where I can pick up purified and mineralized water if and when I need those. All right, so let's start with, I'm just going to get a blueprint of this. Actually, I'll get a blueprint of this whole thing here. And I'll try to line this up as best I can. I think we can move it a bit closer. That looks good. All right. I'm going to remove the belts and inserters. We're not going to need those here. Okay, let me pick that up. There we go. All right, and we'll remove this extra length of pipe there. All right, so here we're going to be doing nitric wastewater purification. All right, let's make a charging station and a zone expander. I need 2 barreling pumps, and for that I need steel. There's some steel. Okay, and then this is going to be nitric wastewater emptying, like so. We can get rid of this. Okay, so mineralized on the bottom and purified on the top, and that's what we have at the other places too. Okay, so I think I'm going to want to remove the clarifiers. Yeah, I'll remove the clarifiers from here. And that way, if we do need to clarify any of it, we'll do it in the primary location where it's being stored. And I should have a one-way valve here. Whoops. There we go. And the same goes for this one. Okay. All right, so this looks pretty much ready to go. I'm going to need another power pole over here. Okay, and that'll have power. And then we can just get a big power pole somewhere. Maybe we don't need a big one. Yeah. Okay, so now that's all hooked up. And these are saying that they're not in a network. Maybe that's just because this needs to charge. And why is it not charging? Okay, do I need to move it? There we go. That was strange. Okay, well, it seems to be working now. All right, so now we just need to get the wastewater down there. And I've got a little bit of spaghetti going on here that I'm going to need to find my way around. I think I'll just bring it down the middle here. Okay, let's try that again. Let's see. There's not room to do that here, so I'll have to turn south somewhere else. There we go. Okay. Now, why do I have two inserters on that one? That doesn't make any sense. There we go. Okay. All right, so now the water, we just need to get into tanks, and then we'll consolidate those into another set of tanks. I'm going to try to line these up here. Just because it looks nice when we do that. Okay, and I need another one of those tanks, which needs some stone brick. So let's get some of that. And is anyone coming for these barrels? Yeah, good. All right. Now the other thing that I noticed are these Jax 35 pressure tanks. I'm tempted to start using these, because these store 350,000 units of fluid. In fact, I did put one up here for the nitrogen gas, because I've never used one before and I wanted to try it out. And you can see it doesn't take up a lot of space. It's got 4 inputs / outputs, and it holds a heck of a lot of stuff. So I think I'm going to use that for the for the final storage, if you will. Okay, good. So we've got that going, and now I think all we have left to do is, and in fact, I don't think I want, do I really need belts there? I don't think I really need belts there. Well, I guess I'll use belts to... I guess I can belt this over. That'll reduce some of the bot traffic. That's fine. Okay. So I'm going to need a couple more barreling pumps. Let's do 4. So we'll have 2 of each. And then I'm going to make 2 of these pressure tanks. And then what I'll do is I'll just pump all the water down into these 2 guys. So 1 for purified and 1 for mineralized. And then we can put clarifiers on those as well. Yeah, I think we'll continue that pattern like that. All right, so let's put a couple of pumps here. Let's get some power brought over. Actually, it would be better if I did that. There. So we'll get those tanks emptied. Oh, and I should have the one-way valves on these too. So let's do non-return valves. 2 of those. That way it goes in, but it doesn't come out. I mean, it's not, I guess it's not really necessary here because we have these pumps. Those are going to prevent anything from going back in. All right, and then we need to do the same on these other ones. Yeah, so how are we going to do that? I suppose I could just remove these tanks. I'll remove the tanks once these other tanks get emptied. Okay, and then we just put straight sections there. Okay, here we have to be careful. No problem. There. And then we wait for these to drain, which is going to take a little bit longer. And then we should be all set, and I think everything else I can leave the way that it was. Okay, yeah. All right, so now let's set up the barreling of these fluids. All right, so this is purified water. 1, 2. And then these two I suppose I could put here. Well, you know what, since we're doing this, let's make this a little bit neater. Let's have a pump coming out of each one. Yeah. I should have moved this down a couple more spaces. Okay, I've got some tanks, so here's what I'm going to do. Let's remove that. I think 2 of these ought to hold what I've got so far. Yeah, and let me put another pump here. There. All right, so this is just temporary so I can get this tank emptied. That way I don't lose any of it. Okay. Okay, so this will be barreling purified water. And this will be barreling mineralized water. Okay, so that's done. Now we can remove those. Put our tank right there. Yep, that'll work. Yeah, let's move it one more just to avoid this getting messy. Or more messy. There's an underground. There. Okay. So now we just need to flip these pumps around. And put it all back in there. one's empty. Okay, wonderful. All right, yeah, so we can put one there, and then, well, I'll figure out what I need over here. Okay, so now we need to get barrels in and barrels out. So what I'll do is I'll do a couple of the big requester chests. I need more iron. I think I have some in my train. Okay, and fluoric wastewater is now completely gone, which I guess is good news. It is wastewater, so no reason to keep it. And I made a provider chest. Good job. I needed a requester chest. Okay. So these two chests are going to be requesting empty barrels. But before I do that, I want to run this down there. Okay, so at least this way some of the empty barrels won't have to be managed by bots. Looks like I've got some empties up here as well. Those are empty. So I'll just leave that the way that it is. And I'll set the requests on here to, we'll just set it to 200 and 200. Okay, and then we'll use stack inserters in, like that. Okay, and then we can put loaders on the outputs. Let's move that down there. Yeah, that's more consistent. And that'll leave me room for a couple lights. Let's make another zone expander, which we can put right. Oh, what is this? Why can't I put it there? Well, that's kind of a bummer. It looks like it only occupies one tile, but I guess it's really 4 tiles. Okay, that's a drag. All right, so in that case, I'll just put it somewhat far away. And then we'll throw in another light. No, we don't need that light. Okay. So I think we're all set here. All right, and then let's join these. So if I do this, no. If I do this, yes. Okay, and then those can merge into a single red belt. Like that. Let's see. And then we go the opposite way. Here. And those can merge into another single red belt. Okay, so now I've got purified and mineralized. All right, and we'll bring that one there, and then we'll bring the other one up here. Like that. And that way we can keep both lanes of belts together. Okay, wonderful. So now we just need another station to pick those up. So this is a loading station. Should we use the same one? No, actually it would have to be this one. This is the provider station. That's a requester station. All right. Yeah, it looks like we have plenty of space. I sure wish that power pole wasn't right there. Nice. So what I did is I used my arrow key to move it down one tile. That is a feature of Picker Extended mod. And that way I don't have to reconnect my circuits. Okay, so we'll put 2 more inputs there. We'll hook those up to our limiter. What do we have these set at? 2,000 each? Okay. So we'll set those up for the, we'll set those up for the 2 types of water as well. The question is, where do we run the belts? I suppose we could go up here, but I'm not going to have room to make a turn. So I'll have to come over. I'll have to come over right here. Or, yeah, I could come over here. All right, so let's pick that up. No. This one goes up there. And that one goes there. All right, and I'm going to break those until I know which one is going to go on which belt. Oh, doesn't quite make it. Yeah. See, I didn't think about that very well, did I? What a pain in the butt. Okay. No, that one really needs to be that one on top. All right. Well, here's what I'm going to do. We'll come up this way. One, two. Okay. There we go. Let's go 2 lanes. I always do that. That kind of makes it so that you don't really save that much time by using it. Okay. So this one is going to be purified water then. And this one is going to be mineralized water. Okay, and those are going to run for quite a while. Yeah, so I'm adding 4,000 more barrels to the system. Let's see how many empty barrels I've got. I don't have very many empty barrels, so we're going to have to start making more. How many do we have in there? 200. Okay. All right. Yeah, and there we go with additional barrels. And somehow over here, I've gotten sulfuric acid. Not sure how that got there. Okay. Well, that seems to be working okay. It's not super fast because we have to wait for all the barrels to get there, but aside from that, it's not too bad. Sulfuric acid. Okay, so let's... Actually, I'll just put those in there and then... the balancer will take care of the rest. All right, well, I think that looks pretty good. So we shouldn't have, at this point, we shouldn't have any byproducts sitting around except for the nitrogen gas. Okay, I can remove these tanks now. And then the last thing that I need to do is to put clarifiers on the other end of these tanks in case they get backed up. So let's do that now before we end the episode. Let's move that down one more so we can do it like that. And we'll put an overflow. Okay, I guess that overflow valve can go there and that one can go there. There. And we'll throw in a light. Throw in another light. Actually, I wonder if we could probably use one clarifier for both. But I'm not sure. I don't want to take a chance on it. Okay, so all of the mineralized water has been barreled. Looks like the purified water is well on its way once we get enough barrels made. So we're pretty much all set on the wastewater processing. So I'll have to give some thought to what to do next, but one thing I do want to move towards fairly soon is upgrading the sorting process. In fact, let's look at our to-do list. Plates to main base, some of those are still not there, so I'm going to leave that up. Actually, let's edit this. We've got steel, iron, and copper are done. So we need bronze, tin, and lead, and silicon. Those are the ones that we still need to get to the main base. Wastewater processing, I would say, is complete. So the next thing would be to upgrade the ore processing. All right, so we'll start to get into that in the next episode. Thanks again for watching, everybody. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.